Hello and welcome everyone. Today we have gathered here for a casual discussion with professionals from various creative fields and the methods they have employed to achieve success in the same, even during this lockdown period in COVID.
The topic for today's discussion is The Show Must Go On, and we are joined by three of the most creative people out there. First of all, we have Mr. Amman Singh with us, a film director by profession. So, Mr. Amman, can you please tell us a bit about yourself to the audience?
Okay, hi. Hi, everyone. I started this company in 2016. I first opened a casting company called Frame 360. I did casting for Desho movie, King Liar, and Key and Ka movie. Extras I casted in Dubai. And then I opened my own production house, which is called Amman Singh Films. And then I opened a proper company with because the Dubai government and Abu Dhabi government has some imposed like you can't have casting company and a production company in one company, so you need to separate it. So I opened another company called Phoenix Company. So in that company, I've made commercials for ICC World Cup, which was the biggest commercial our company made, and then do commercials. Last year we did for Ramadan campaign. Last year we did for Etisalat, Emirates Airlines, and so there are a lot of other companies. And now I've started this, not this year, maybe the mid of last year, I started making music videos. So I've made music videos for a lot of singers, and yeah, so that's about it.
That's great. Moving on, the next on our panel, we have a radio professional, RJ VED. RJ, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you so much. And it's really great initiative by you guys. So myself, actually, my name is Vivek, but I'm known as RJ VED. I worked in Dubai, I worked in Bahrain, Qatar as well, and in India as well. So basically, I'm a radio jockey by profession, plus voiceover artist, a radio programmer. I've started my journey in the year 2010 with Radio Mirchi in India, and then another radio station, My FM, which is Dainik Bhaskar's subsidiary company. Then moved to Dubai with Radio Spice. Then Radio Mirchi again in Bahrain. And right now, I've opened my own company, VS Production, in India, and working for 3 different radio stations across the world.
Thanks a lot. Moving on to the last but not the least speaker in today's panel, we have Ms. Shobana Chandramohan, who is a singer and a performer. So, Ms. Shobana, would you like to introduce yourself to the panel?
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me, and it's nice to see an initiative like these in these times. I am a professional singer, trained by qualification an engineer, but always had a passion for singing. I'm a Saregama winner way back Sonu Nigam used to host. And after that, it's been a very interesting and a very long journey over the years, starting off with the private performances, moving on to huge destination weddings across the world. In the last 10 years, I have no idea. I cannot even count the number of countries and locations and venues I must have traveled. So many weddings, corporate events, dealer meets, going around the world. It was an absolutely exciting journey, meeting so many new people. And during this time, I also did a lot of television. I was a live television anchor as well as recorded shows. I have been a radio jockey for a number of years with the same radio spice that Ved was talking about. I did a morning jock as a morning jock for about 3 years with them. And besides that, of course, I'm a voiceover artist as well. And yeah, I mean, it's been like a huge range of things I've been dabbling in. Singer, anchor, MC, performer, all rolled into one. Yeah, and well, that's exciting life I've led so far.
Oh, okay, that's really great. But wait, I almost forgot to introduce ourselves. I'm Gautam Agarwal, and I'm a university student in third year doing my honors right now.
And I'm Kushagar Shrivastava. I've passed out high school right now, but I also play the guitar and create music in my free time. And today, we are going to be engaging in the discussion with these people we just introduced. So, without further ado, first of all, I'd like to go to Mr. Aman, and I'd like see well. So he has already actually explained about his experiences so far, but I'd like him to tell some more about his personal experiences in this field, some personal anecdotes, so that he can develop a bond with the audience really. Since right now we just know him professionally.
Okay. So actually, by profession, I was a banker before. I was working in Rack Bank. I was an investment banker. So I did my MBA from Paris Business School. And then after leaving banking, I started doing my dad business as a textile shop in Mina Bazaar. So we get into this textile thing, but it was never my cup of tea. And then I started doing modeling. So how I did this industry through modeling, I did little fashion shows, acting. Like you can see few of the commercial for Pan Emirates. A lot of commercial I have did as an actor. And so my always my idea was to be always on a business side, never was on the actor or something like that. So then I opened my casting company, and then I did casting with few of the other casting people from Bombay. That's how I networked with Bombay people. So they came here, and I became very good friend line producers. So that's how I got a lot of big movies in the initial years of my transformation. So that's why I was very the why you get attracted to something, because you're getting a lot of money. I was getting well paid for all these jobs. So I was like, wow, this industry is amazing. So then little bit ahead, I opened my own production house. So I started doing production. Now I have full production house. I have cameras, I have red cameras, airy cameras, all lenses and everything, full in-house production. Recent like was before this happened, we did a series for Netflix. It's a Tamil series. So we have just completed that before the lockdown. They just went back to India. So like full production, cameras, equipments, all the stars, squad boys, everything was provided by our company. And so yeah, that's about it. And now I'm using my financial knowledge, because now the lockdown is there. Our business is totally stopped. So the advance which I took from the companies who were there, which I was supposed to shoot, they are asking me to return it back, because now they are thinking it will take 2 or 3 more months to actually get into all that phase of shooting. And because right now I got a circular last week from the government, like they said, okay, the shooting is okay, now you can do shoot, but there are a lot of parameters you have to follow. Like you need to sanitize everyone has to be have insurance, and should be an ambulance on the spot, and everyone should have a COVID test, this blah blah blah, a lot of the proper list. So I was like, oh, it's better we should start shooting once things are okay.
Right.
So now I'm using my financial knowledge to build another company. So with one of our another, how I got to know Gotham from a BNI source. So one of another BNI, we are opening a financial company. It's a trading company, forex trading company. So we have already started it. So let's see how that thing will work out. So yeah, that's about it.
Starting from your dad's business to moving into film directing, that was quite a shift. RJ, what about you? How did you start up? How did you come into the field of doing being a radio jockey and being on air all the time? So how did that come across?
Basically, I think it's actually my passion. I'm a passion-driven guy. So during my college, I think I've started. I understood that I made for something else. So I was very good in study as well. I always topper. Since my school days, college days, I always top all my classes. But I was that kida, to speak. I used to mimic a lot of characters. And when I was sixth class, I saw one of the video on Doordarshan channel where there was a guy who was mimicking Shakti Kapoor, Ashok Kumar. And just after that show finishes, I tried enacting. And I was quite able to do that, So, मैंने Shakti Kapoor, I mimicked Shakti Kapoor, Ashok Kumar, Ao, Lalita. And then, bhaiya, Ashok Kumar. So when I did this in front of other people, they actually enjoyed it. Then I thought, yeah, man, this is something which I want to do. So gradually, I learned mimicking. And during my college, I formed my rock band. I always into art side, cultural side. And later I've realized that, I want to host. So I started hosting small gatherings in Indore city in India. And after that, one day, Radio Mirchi team came to one of the mall to put their stuff, and they saw me hosting. So one of the programming head of Radio Mirchi, she invited me for the audition, and from there, my journey began to be a radio jockey. So from there, I started in Indore, then I shifted to Nagpur, then Then initially, actually, in the radio industry, the money is not that great as it looks. कि बहुत पैसा मिलेगा. It's not like that. So initially, it was very less money. I always wanted to earn a lot of money. So I thought, which is the place which can give me a lot of money. So Dubai was the only place which was nearby to India, and it has good potential. So I shifted to. Luckily, I got job offer from Dubai, Radio Spice. So I worked there with Radio Spice. Then I promoted as a radio programming head in Bahrain, while Radio Mirchi was launching a new station in Bahrain. So that's the journey from a small town boy to Dubai to Bahrain, and again came back to India because of this lockdown stuff. But it's fun, like voiceover, doing voiceovers, doing radio shows. It's a kind of a way of living. It's not just a job. It's living. You really loved it. When you speak, a lot of people. There's one room, nobody is in the room, but you're talking to millions of people at the same time. So it's so much fun.
Wow, that's such a profound example of, the butterfly effect where a show from Doordarshan has led you to where you are today. It's we
Yeah.
don't think about these in our daily lives, but if you really start putting the blocks together, you see how big the picture is. Anyways,
That's true.
moving on to our third speaker, Ms. Shobana, can you please tell us a bit about your journey, how you got started in this singing and performing career of yours, and how did you reach where you are today?
Okay, I have always been extremely fond of singing, and I always wanted to be on that stage singing Bollywood songs, and that was always my passion. School, college, at any given small excuse, you'd find me right up there on stage. Stage fright is something that's never been there in my dictionary. Loved it right from my childhood. In fact, people had to, struggle to keep me off there. Belonging to a typical South Indian Brahmin family, obviously, studies was priority. Did my engineering, topped the college, distinction, university, blah blah blah. But singing was always there. So I came to the Gulf, got married, moved here to Dubai, was working as a full-time engineer and following my passion of singing on the sides, because in those days, in the 90s, entertainment was not such a big deal. It was like people would have maybe 3 parties, 4 parties a month, and I was primarily a singer. But then ZTV happened. They came to the Gulf. I got selected, won the Antakshari, won the Saregama as well. So that kind of got things moving, and we started getting offers to actually host the Antakshari programs and things like that. So singing, hosting, a kind of combination started emerging. I was never into hosting. In fact, at one point, I remember I used to be a singer, but I couldn't speak a single word on the stage. I would go up on stage, sing my song, and come running back. I know Ved is smiling because anyone who knows me now will not believe this at all. But I couldn't speak. And it was only after the Antakshari and Saregama happened and we started getting pushed into a situation, I developed this caliber as well, and then started enjoying it. Then I had live TV, radio. I remember there was a point when for almost 2 years, I was doing live television, followed by live radio first, early in the morning, followed by live television. I would run from the radio station to the television station, do a 1 hour live show on television, and then probably have a party, a studio session, a voiceover session recording sometime during the day, and then end the night with a private party where I'd be singing. So literally covering all 4 media in one day. It has happened in my life.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then, of course, destination weddings started off. And that was again a new thing, people moving to another country, getting together. So that's when this whole combination, till then, I had never thought of going out of Dubai. I was doing extremely well in Dubai, but this whole India thing started because people realized that there's one person who can sing, who can talk, who can interact, who can get people going. So it works well for them because it's obviously value for money. So that's how I started getting calls and people started enjoying that. And I realized that, yeah, it's good fun. And I love people. It's like people tell that you go into a room full of strangers and you feel awkward. For me, it's like if I have to go into a room full of people I know, I'm like, that's so boring. You throw me into a room full of strangers and I love it. I'm like, wow, bring it on. So probably that's what you call an extrovert. So
Right.
that's always been my forte. And yeah, it was amazing until this whole COVID thing kind of hit it. But yeah, it's so my journey was, it just went like they say, being at the right time at the right place kind of a thing. And eventually, of course, I realized that this entertainment industry is really kicking up. So I quit my job in the IT industry, moved full time into entertainment. And after this whole shutdown and everything, yes, I have done about 7 or 8 FB live shows. I've experimented with the camera. I've done front camera, back camera, long this thing. I've done shows where I have shown things on television. I've done dedication shows. I've done a lot. And in fact, this week I'm planning to do the 25th anniversary for somebody in Calcutta with a full-fledged singing, games, getting the whole family together. I'm in the process of planning it. And I'm checking on the technology side to see which app is good enough for it, because whether I should be using Zoom or whether I should be using some other app. So where the audio quality, because this is not just the talking, it's the singing as well. So the quality
Right.
of music has to be. So I'm experimenting with all of that and trying to get things going. And like Amandeep said, I'm also parallelly trying to go back to my basics, which is IT. So I have also started looking up some IT courses, and I'm in the process of training myself in that area as well to see if I can also engage in some IT work on the side. So I'm really not sure. Right now, I'm at like a crossroads where I'm trying out what can be done best in both the fields.
So from like such a busy schedule that you used to have to a period like right now where everything is pretty much silent, Ved, how have you, how has your RJB thing being doing at the moment? Like, how has COVID affected your field of work?
So right now, actually, now there are a lot of things have changed because of COVID-19. It is something which was not at all expected. No one had ever thought about it. Someday will come, when everybody has to go home and sit at home and doing nothing. So yeah, it does affect everyone, all the industries, especially media industry. You know why? Because media is all about the advertisement. The whole revenue is based on the advertisement. And when the industries are closed, when like it's a summertime, all the ice cream factories should make ice creams, but they're closed. If they're closed, so why they will put the ad on radio or television? So yes, it's really affecting media industry. But right now, I'm thankful. I'm really thankful to God because I have got my own production company, and I'm doing production for 3 different radio stations from India. We are doing shows for Qatar. We are managing radio productions for one TV channel. Not radio production, means audio productions for a TV channel. And also we have a lot of voiceover stuff. So that's my actually studio where I'm sitting in right now. It's my small studio. So one artist, what we all need is mic. That's it. Mic and laptop. We can put all the effects, it's the magic of Shobana knows it very well. It's the magic of your throat. You can mimic a lot of voices, and then rest of the effects can done by the softwares. So that's my small studio from where we are doing radio productions for radio shows, as well as voiceovers for different characters. And there's one thing called ghost voiceover artist. There's a lot of things which you have seen on television, advertisements. There are a lot of times there are characters. ऐसे तुमने क्यों कर दिया? Listen to me. Oh, वाकई तुमने वाकई कमाल किया है. तुम बहुत अच्छे इंसान हो. चलो चलो ये करके दिखाते हैं. Something like that. So there are a lot of things which I did, but it's all ghost voiceover artists. I never put my name there. So a lot of things which we are doing. So if this time, COVID-19 time is actually gifted by God, I guess. This whole environment is getting pure. All the rivers in the world, they are better now. And also, I got a lot of work to do. So we are sitting at home, but doing a lot of stuff, like producing and doing a lot of voiceovers. So it's so much fun. And plus, spending a lot of time with your family, which I was missing since 9-10 years. So that's the best thing about the COVID-19. I'm very being positive, about COVID-19. Over to you.
Yeah, I believe that that's like the best way to really take the entire scenario. It was an unprecedented one. It has its own negatives, but there are some positives in it too. And with that being said, I'd like to move over to Mr. Amman, and I'd like to ask him, since he had already said that how has COVID-19 affected his business, right? The government has given a lot of procedures to be followed and all that, and it's better to just skip all of that and just wait for this to end. So other than that, so Mr. Amman, how have you been managing your business in general. How have you been able to keep things afloat during the COVID-19 pandemic? And what would you think are some of the positives of COVID-19 in your field of work?
See, honestly, I feel God has given us this time, as RJ VED said. So I have developed a lot of qualities which I even don't know. So I got 2 months of time. I'm sitting with myself. I'm a single guy. I have my house. I'm alone in my house. So I'm discovering myself every day. So, in the night, I just have to drink. But throughout the day, I'm just concentrating on myself. So I have discovered a trait in me. Actually, I play all those gambling, casinos. I'm very keen of all these things. So when I came across this trading business, I was like, whoa, this is something which I know everything about it, but I never started this thing. And now I have started it. And honestly, I am making a hell lot of money just by doing trading. Every day around $3,000 to $4,000, easy money, nothing. Just you need to know the basics, because I've studied that stock market, I've studied that forex market, I've studied because I'm an investment banker. So I've studied all these things throughout my life, but I never used it. I always think like, what's this? This is like total torture. And when you're working for yourself, it is something which is amazing. So that's what I said. Like, I have discovered something in these 2 months which I think I will never discover throughout my life if I don't get these 2 months. So I have discovered. So we have opened our office in JLT now with this financial institute, and soon once the things are okay, so we're gonna have hired people in that office, and then we're gonna start doing full-fledged trading from that office. But yeah, so right now I'm just making money by sitting at home. We are doing forex market, which is 5 days a week, 24/7. So it's amazing. So we are doing it. And if I'm not able to show you my place, I have 8 screens throughout. And
Oh, that
once the market is on Sunday 1 a.m., it means Monday 1 a.m. So I'm on my screen. I have all the 8 screens, all the graphs and everything is going up and down, and you're buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling. So that's my life for 5 days. And then Saturday, Sunday, I just chill and relax. I don't know how I'm going to go back to my old business of shooting and all, because right now the inquiries started coming. Like, actually, right now I'm doing mostly music videos. So all the Punjab artists, all the artists from Delhi. So whosoever who wants to. So if you search my name on Google, so my music video hit 15 million views on YouTube. It's on T series. So like I have made a lot of videos for big artists as well. But now I started getting calls. So before lockdown, I was doing production for Honey Singh next song, which he just doing. I think he have launched this song. I forgot the name. He recently launched it.
Maskasuka.
Maskasuka.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to shoot in March end, but because of this COVID, all those procedure happened. So it was a collaboration from an Indian company called Viz Production,
Okay.
and my company. So I was into the production side, and they were into that all the line production side. So, but everything got cancelled, and so yeah. So here it is. So I think it's very good. We got 2 months, and we are able to discover ourselves. Yeah,
I mean,
over to you.
that's definitely a positive, since even I personally have been able to discover a lot about myself. Like, I never, I've started getting into Android app development, which is something I never believed I would do. So it's an amazing thing that people are really finding more about themselves.
Even me, during this COVID, like because there was this quarantine, we could start up with this new thing of panel discussions and getting speakers and like talking to them and discussing a lot more. So like quarantine has actually got out good
I mean,
things out
this
of
is this is
everyone.
this panel discussion right now is literally the biggest thing that we have discovered that we could conduct right now. So similarly, I'd like to ask this to Ms Shobana also. Has there been anything you have discovered about yourself, or have you started a new hobby during this pandemic that you never believed
Um,
you would?
Actually, not a new hobby, but yes, I have discovered a lot of new aspects to what I was doing earlier. Like I've said, I had never used technology beyond the point that, yes, my laptop to play the music. But I've never really been much on social media, not been much on, not focusing too much on it. Like, kabhi koi gana dal diya, maybe a little bit of a performance here and there, but never really been there out there too much, because probably a generation that grew up being taught not to show off. So it was a little bit of a difficult process to, put myself out there, and also never had the time because all the time traveling and going from one place to another, very, very busy schedules. So because of which this time I have actually done all this on Facebook and connected with people and come up with so many different, and even doing new things like coming up with artist base, doing research, conducting. I even did lucky draws on Facebook. I had sponsors come on in, and it was quite interesting. So it was like a collaboration. I had collaborated with Film Fair Middle East, and I did about 4 or 5 shows where we were actually showcasing on artists, to the extent that recently when Rishi Kapoor ji passed away, in within 24 hours I was able to churn out a completely dedicated tribute to him, 90-minute tribute to Rishi Kapoor ji, with all his hit songs traversing his entire career, with information, with all the trivia and everything, in literally 24 hours. So that's the kind of speed I developed, whereas earlier I never really had the time to focus on these kind of things. And also the IT side of it, because somewhere I feel maybe I did ignore the intellectual inside me. And now that I have started off on this journey, it's quite exciting to again get back into the computer field, the IT field. So I'm discovering new things there as well. So it's exciting. I'm waiting to see how that develops. It's too early now to speak about it, but it's just been a couple of weeks now. So
I'd,
that's where it
I'd also
is.
like to add on to something over here. I have noticed, actually, courtesy to my mom, that I've really noticed it, but I've seen that during the quarantine, you have been doing a lot of Facebook live streams of your singing, Ms. Shobana. Um, there's a series that you call Showtime with Shobana right now, and you just sing
Yes.
over there for some time. So I just like to know for our audience, like, how has the reception been, and how has the feedback of these live shows been really? Since you have now moved on to Facebook live streams, and it's a really new thing that we are now trying out since the pandemic has begun.
Yeah,
How has
I
the
learned a
reception been?
lot about it because I started off by calling it Showtime with Shobna. And then I realized the limitations that Facebook live streaming has, how to get the best audio out there, a lot of experimenting that I had to do, and also the placement of the camera. I, in fact, bought new equipment. I mean, Amandeep would probably be smiling because this might be very basic. But even then, to, make yourself look good on camera, so have the kind of studio lighting that you need. So I got all of that, placing of the camera, then how to utilize different angles, make your whole I have worked on television, so luckily that helped, but I had to use my head a lot. In fact, I did a Helen dedication where I recreated an entire nightclub look inside my house using light effects, and I changed 11 outfits in 60 minutes. I had 11 different
Whoa.
looks in 60 minutes while I was doing
Ooh.
the show. So I literally had to plan because it was live Facebook. There was no scope for error, zero error. So literally a song would be playing, a music would be playing, and I would have to time myself that how much time it takes for me to leave the frame, exit, quickly change my getup. And I had to make sure that I had clothes that were easy to put on, easy to take off, because obviously, there was no chance of making a mess there. So I actually pulled it off. It was 11 different looks in 60 minutes, like 10 songs, 11 different looks. I had like hat, this, that, so many props that I used. That was amazing. So I did experiment a lot, and feedback was awesome. People were like, how did you do that? I mean, how did you figure all this out? So I think, yeah, there was a lot of learning, a lot of interesting things. Yes.
So, RJ, how have people received your work during this period?
It's good, it's nice. But before answering this question, I would also like to mention about TikTok. TikTok, Shobna, for you especially. TikTok is the app which can teach you changing the clothes in a fraction of seconds. You do like this, boom, and your clothes changes. So I think TikTok is the app which we all can use to change our clothes. Anyway, so yeah, reception is my work is well received by everybody, and I'm doing a show for yeah, another Arab country, and it is really well received there because everywhere the same situation, fighting against COVID-19 coronavirus. So we all need to spread the good messages among the community, especially Indian, Bangladeshis, Nepalis, uh, all our Asian communities. So it is well received. Also, I used to do a lot of videos before this pandemic. But after the pandemic, I became so lazy, you know. एक बड़ी अच्छी लाइन है जो मैं बोलना चाहूंगा कि पैंडेमिक के टाइम पे रात भर नींद आती नहीं है उसका रोना है पैंडेमिक के टाइम पे रात भर नींद आती नहीं है उसका रोना है और दिन भर टीवी में देखो तो सिर्फ कोरोना है so, so at night whole time you're watching Netflix exploring new series and in the morning you became lazy and you want to sleep and meantime in the afternoon time you need to record your shows and send it to different countries. So this is how my days are going, and yes, work is well received, but I really want to come back to videos as well as soon as possible. I'm trying to put some green screen also because now it's next level of my videos. So let's see how quick I'm gonna start that.
Like you said about TikToks, before quarantine, like before this lockdown, I never thought that I would be doing TikToks. And now me and my friends are making this collaboration, these collab videos of TikToks and compiling it. So it has been like, a lot of these new things, which like you never think that you do before.
You know what? In Corona, COVID-19, people are saying we have to maintain social distancing. But though we are maintaining social distancing, but in this distancing also, there is a closeness which was never before. We are getting closer to the families, to the friends, to the new people. So I think it's another positive side of COVID-19. The world is getting closer by following social distancing. So that's the best thing which I can see. And may Almighty bless us as soon as may Almighty bless us with this vaccine or any of the medicine, so that we all can come back to our work. Especially Mr. Amman, he can start his shooting with different artists. We can do go out and do live shows. Shobana can go out and do as many as weddings she can, and you guys also do whatever you want to
I
do.
mean,
So
right now, everything has been put to a pause. I believe he's physically going to a college and me going to a college in general, because right now I'm in this state where I've passed out my high school, but now I'm just sitting here doing nothing really, to be honest. So
yeah, it has affected, I
you're
think, every
developing
generation in a
Android.
different way, and
yeah,
every age group in a different way. With people in college, in university, they're stuck in America, in London, they're not able to come back home. The dorms are going to be closing in another week. Children don't know where they're going to be. So there's that whole generation. Then there's the children who've just passed out and they've graduated, but they've never even got a chance to say bye to their friends. So there have been no proms. Yeah, it's kind of affected everyone. In fact, there's one small thing I forgot to mention when Ved was telling that at the start of the pandemic, one of my videos actually went viral. I did a small takeoff on Corona and I had just posted it. And for some reason, I think I was one of the first to do it. And there was a gap of almost 1 week after which people started posting. So I posted mine around the end of Feb. And people were receiving it from US and Indonesia. It was a musical parody ki tum na daro tum bhi na daro क्या कोरोना है सबका रोना है किसको हुआ है किसको पता है. It's in the tune of कुछ ना कहो. So I had done that parody and I'd done a full song on that. So that kind of went viral. And next week I'm going to be doing a charity event on Facebook Live. I'm trying to support a charity event.
moving on to Mr. Aman, during this entire pandemic time, during this, stay at home, like none of us are going out there, have you been able to do any projects in your film directing side of business? Like, have you been, has, I believe it's probably a no, I believe, but then have you been able to experiment with something in the film direction side of things while staying at home by any chance?
Okay, so I think it's lockdown from end of March in Dubai. I think around
Yeah.
23rd or 22nd.
Um, it
I was shooting on 21st of March. So I was shooting for one of the biggest company called Teleperformance. They are the company which they have the largest number of people employed in the world. So I was making commercials for them, and on 23rd it was a lockdown. So how I work, my company works, we take 50% advance and we take 50% after the shoot. So I have completed only 10% of the shoot and I took the advance of 50%. So I was like, now what to do? So now I just talked to the person, the manager there. They said, okay, maybe after a month. First they called me last month. They said maybe it will go till December. We don't know the things and all. So just if it's possible, you can return us the money and all. I said, are you mad or what? I already paid my price, everything. But then now things are getting better. Now the things are opening up. So maybe no, I haven't done any shoot, and I'm glad I haven't done anything because see, honestly, it's a dangerous thing,
Yeah.
and if you're going out, you're risking yourself. So it's better to stay home, stay safe. You never know what will happen to you. Never know, because don't take this thing, because I have seen a guy. He's around 34, 35, I think, something, mid-age group guy, like something, and he got corona and he is seriously ill. Like I can see, I saw his video. His mom said, sent it to me, and he's really serious. Like he's not able to breathe properly, like that bad. And so this is not funny to just have fun, and we can go out and
Yeah.
do all those things. It's very serious. So what I did, I locked down myself totally. No one is coming inside. No one. I was sanitizing my house. Did twice sanitization, car sanitize. Like it's something very serious. So hopefully we are now. It's on a verge, but still in Dubai, I feel there is, like, every day I heard 500 cases, 600 cases, because now they're testing it. They're testing more and more people in knife area. We have people one in one room. There's like 50 people they're staying. So those areas, there's still the corona is still exist. So yeah, I think this year it will go on all with all these hassle and all. So I think by next year we will be in a good shape to do everything. So I think I'll start my shooting in October, because right now the weather is also very bad. So it's no point shooting outdoors, and no music video comes usually these time, Ramadan time. So yeah, maybe by October I'll start shooting, but till then I'll establish my financial things. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd also like to take this opportunity to just give this PSA to like everyone watching to just stay home. I mean, I had a friend who just went out to a restaurant because he was bored, and like after I was just scolding him that how can you be so irresponsible. So basically, everyone just stay home. You don't know how serious can it be. Uh, the person sitting right
Yeah.
next to you can have it for that matter. So just avoid all the risk. You're safe at your home. Anyways, with all of that being said right now, I'd also like to highlight the you know the financial side of things. The entire world right now, you see there are people losing their jobs. There's a recession almost going on at this point. So how have you guys been able to keep the financial side? I mean, Mr. Aman did say he has started a new business in
No, I
sports
have I
trading.
have I have employees. I have employees at my company. I haven't fired anyone. So everyone is getting their salaries on time. Yesterday only I have paid them the salary, and they're like, I haven't fired any, because see, my people are sport boys. Like they are the normal people. Like they are very. I don't have those big salaries. Very
Yep.
very basic salaries of 1,500, 2,000 dirhams. So I have 4 employees. So I have paid them everyone. I haven't told them to just go, because I know once, see, this is the bad phase, and if you support those people in the bad phase, they will support throughout the life, because you never
Yeah.
know how big you become next day, and what kind of support you need. So they called me yesterday. They said we need money, we need salary. So I went to Meena Bazaar. Even I was very scared. So they are stayed in Meena Bazaar. So I went to Meena Bazaar. I paid them the salary. I was like, so one by one, I called everyone. I paid the salary, but I haven't fired anyone. So maybe I think I have to pay them till something of September. So I've calculated all my risks. So till September, I think I have to pay them, because I don't think so. The shooting, like proper shooting, what you do, I don't think so. It will be like it will come into exist from October or something. It will start from October, I think, because the weather will be good and all those restrictions will be removed, because right now the restrictions are too much. So we are like 50,000 dirham fine, 100,000 dirham fine is there.
I mean,
So
on
yeah,
top of that, people also will not pay. Like, there might not be enough sponsorships or anyone because right now, I think every corporation or even personally, every person is trying to save as much as they can in that case.
yeah, yeah,
So,
totally. Even the prices have come down too
yeah.
much. Yeah,
So, speaking on the same lines, I'd like to direct this to RJ VED. How have you been able to keep the financial side of your business afloat during this pandemic?
So
Like,
actually,
how do you manage the sponsorships and all of that? Yeah.
it's going really good by God grace. See, I told you I have a contract of 2, 3 radio stations. So I'm sitting at home and I'm doing productions. I'm doing sending them shows, radio shows. So it's better than before, I guess, for me. It's not like I'm making the same amount of money which I was staying in Dubai and I used to make. So, and I don't need to pay any rent. I don't need to pay for car. I don't need to pay for fines. I don't need to pay for um, house help. So I think for me, by God grace, it's better. But the only my only concern is that when this whole thing will come on the track, you know, because every industry, because I'm already in touch with a lot of radio professionals in India, and India is a bigger market than Dubai if you talk about radio or anything. So everybody is scared. A lot of people got fired. So I don't know what next will happen and how this whole thing will take shape again. The economy, if you talk about economy also. So looking forward, and the best thing which all we can do is to pray. So let's pray and hope everything will be sorted soon. And as well as my financials are concerned, I'm managing it so well. I'm at my home. I don't need to pay anything. I'm enjoying with my family, and that's the best thing I can think of, like with the family, with my kid. With I'm also someone's kid, so I'm with my parents. So really fun time, literally.
So this period, like even I've been spending a lot of time with my family, like the amount of time I used to spend before, and now it's like comparatively a lot more. Uh, Shobna, you said like you do a lot of Facebook lives. Do you think it's safe, like in terms of privacy, because that has also gone up these days?
Actually, see, when I was doing live performances also, I used to travel all over the world as a woman alone, go into places where there would be 300 people, 400 people conducting a wedding. I'd be all alone by myself without any security manager or even my husband for that matter. I would be staying in that place for 3 days, conducting different functions at the wedding. And a lot of people used to ask me this question that, aren't you scared? Aren't you worried that someone would, do something or something would happen? And I've always believed that of course, basic care you have to take. You have to be sensible about these things. And second thing is, I believe that what works for on ground also works for the cyber world. Like even there's a way you conduct yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you deal with people. So I feel it's a combination of all these things. So of course, not talking about someone hacking. I'm not talking about hackers, but I'm talking about a general situation where people get trolled or people get abused on cyber world or whatever. I feel that is also similar to what happens in the real world. I mean, there's a way you have to conduct yourself, the way you have to carry yourself. There's certain things you do, certain things you say, certain things that you don't. And you have to remember that when you're out there, up there in that world, you're completely exposed. You don't know who's watching you. You don't know the sensibilities of people. So you have to be very, very careful. You have to think through. Don't just go out there and say whatever comes to your mind. It's very nice to say that, I'm very spontaneous, but I don't think it should be. Spontaneity comes with a lot of responsibility also. You can't just say anything off your head because there's so many different sentiments of people, especially in these times. Everybody is going through a different mental makeup. There are people who are handling this well. There are people who are not, people who are depressed. Maybe somebody is happy to be with family and, me time and discovering myself. Maybe someone's just struggling to make 2 meals a day. So you have all kinds of people. So when you're out there, when you're doing something, I think you need to take care of all these sensibilities. And if you do that in a proper way and don't offend anyone or don't tread on those kind of areas, I think so far, touch wood, I've done so many of these shows and I've not had any kind of a negative feedback or any kind of a negative what you can say, messages or nothing like that. I mean, people have all been very nice. And I was a little nervous when I was doing Rishi Kapoor because it was literally 24 hours after he passed away. But I think, again, like I said, if you have that sensibility in your head as to what you're doing, the way you're talking, the way you're carrying things forward, uh, things work out well.
And I
Right.
guess they also Facebook also started money for artists for live videos. The artist can decide whether the viewers if you want money or not. So people, the viewers who wants to watch that, they can pay some money and they can watch, or maybe artists can make it free of cost, available for free of cost. That's another good thing by
So
Facebook, so that artists can earn money.
so it is almost like a normal regular live show at this point, like a live concert.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I for
so
India
So how
Bollywood
is this?
concert by Karan Johar and Zoya Akhtar. They recently created on Facebook only.
Yeah, but we couldn't see the button here, and I think it's not available in every geography. It's probably
I
India, yes, but
I believe
we
Facebook
couldn't
might
see it
also
here.
give an I believe Facebook might also give an option as to where you can see it, because I believe like if you set a uh, price for your live concert or anything, it will be in a specific type of currency. I believe that might have hampered the distribution of it across the globe. Anyways,
In fact, I am going to be doing a charity event, and I have a Zoom meeting after this at 6 o'clock with that team. So I think that's exactly what is going to be discussed there. That how do we make it, because it's going to be people, paying for the concert. Not literally that only if they pay they can see, but more like a consideration that if you want to contribute, please do so. It's a good cause, more like that.
right. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
really
So
nice initiative.
yeah, so
Yeah, Gautam.
how has digital marketing and distribution trends changed due to all of this at this point of time? Or like what difference have you
Because
seen? Because I know
yeah,
like both of you are influencers, media
I
influencers.
mean,
So
I believe that's a really good question, because so far we have only been discussing about their primary field of work as to how they're continuing the singing or the
yeah,
film direction or the RJ. But right now, every that side has also another side. Basically, you have to distribute your work, you have to advertise it out there. So how have those digital advertising trends changed in your fields of work so far? I'd like to first of all ask this to Mr. Amman over here. How has the digital marketing side of it, of your film direction, changed?
See, my business is always based on digital marketing. I don't know anyone because I came from background which doesn't know A B C D of this entertainment industry. So I've started from Instagram. I've started from Facebook. So it's all about digital. It's all about networking. So how you network with the people. So sometime I went to some shows where I don't get money. I just went for networking. So from there I was making some good contacts because sometimes what happened in Dubai, most of the time in modeling industry, they tend to ask you to do for free fashion shows. So I went, I was like, okay, let's go. So from there I made a lot of friends. I have made a lot of, I'm telling you this in 2000, back in 2015. So when I started this thing. So it's all about networking, and then it comes to digital marketing. So you have to market yourself in such a way that you should know your audience first of all. See, my audience was like, for example, if I'm a film director, if I was first I was a casting director. So my audience was whosoever coming from Bombay, they need local cast. So I want to tell you, I did a TV show called Khwabo Ke Darmiyan. I was a casting director for that. I was with partners with Elite Films, so I was doing casting for that show as well, the Khwabo Ke Darmiyan. So all the cast, local cast, I casted in Dubai. So I've got the people on the board, and even two of the actors, Garima Goel and Riyanka Chanda, they are my friends from Bombay. I told the people from Elite Films like they are the good cast and all, so they got onto the board. So that's how I started doing networking. So from there I got another commercial from Elite Films. I got two more commercials. So from there it was just building a networking. But same time you have to be very strong in your digital marketing, because whatever you're doing you have to show to the world. So in that I'm very good in that. So I'm posting stories every second. I'm posting videos every second. I'm doing whatever I'm doing. I'm meeting a guy. Even I made a commercial for Varun Dhawan Buffalo Jeans in 2018 December. I did a production for Varun Dhawan's Buffalo Jeans. It was around 2 crore project, and we did the full production for that project, Varun Dhawan. That project I got it from Deshum Contact, which I did it in 2016 January, and I got that one contact, the executive producer. He was always very good friend of mine. We went for drinks, we went for different places. So he said like Varun is coming and Remo is director and all. So if you can help them to get some people on board and all. So I said, yeah, why not? So from 2016, I got a job in 2018 December, which was a very big project. So all the time I made good connection with few people, and then I start posting my stuff. So posting stuff is for the people who doesn't know my work, who doesn't know me, like who am I? Who like I have created 4 or 5 pages on Facebook. Amman Singh Films, Fame 360 Dubai. I have like now I have created for FX marketing. I have trading business. Now I've created a page. Now I get inquiries like how can we make money? Quarantine is there. We don't have any salaries. Like Emirates crew, people from Emirates, they have contacted me. Like we don't have salaries, so tell me we have investment. I said okay, do investment of this. You will get monthly confirmed income of this much. So like, I'm planning all these things. So social media or digital platform is very important for everyone. So yeah, that's how I
Networking is really important. Like it's been really important, especially in this field itself. Like a lot of the things, like a lot of work that people get are based on networking only. So like,
I mean, it's such a coincidence
yeah.
also because our last topic was exactly on the importance of networking. This is like this. I'm just advertising right now, but yeah, the last panel discussion we had was on networking.
Even Gautam's dad came to my studio and he was discussing with me how you guys can do this kind of panel thing.
Yeah.
And he was discussing with me. So he has some ideas. I gave him some ideas. So right now we are sitting here on digital platform. But yeah, and never forget why you started. This is the mantra you should always remember. Never forget why you started. I've started filming. I never forget why I've started. I've started casting. I never know why I've started. I always know why I've started everything. So don't forget. Just do it. And never think COVID is here. You never know another COVID is coming in 2021. You never know. So you should be happy. You should be doing what you have to do. Trust me,
Okay.
things will be perfect. You should be positive. That's it.
All right. Moving the same question. Moving the same question to RJ VED here. How have the digital marketing and the advertising platform or like the methods have changed after the pandemic for your field of business?
Yeah, digital marketing used to be the threat for radio as well as newspapers as well as TV, because digital marketing is one thing, or digital stuff is one thing which is going direct to the user. If something you want to say, you just say it and I can receive it. It's going one to one. And during this pandemic time, when people cannot go out, when people uh, maybe they don't want to listen too much of radio because they are not in the cars, right? So now this digital thing, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and blah, blah, blah. There are so many websites. So these are there in the phone. If you want to deliver any message, digital media is the fastest medium. And you can see the results within seconds, within fraction of seconds. If any song is nice, it gets millions and millions of views. If some good information is there on Facebook, it gets viral. So I think that's the strongest medium. And during this pandemic, it is working also very nicely. And a lot of Bollywood concerts, if you say a lot of singers, a lot of Bollywood celebrities, they're coming up forward to say, to deliver the messages, how to save themselves, how to protect yourself, how to avoid the spread of coronavirus pandemic through social media. And social media is delivering so fast, and it is reaching out to millions of people in a second. In TV, okay, people are maybe watching or not, but in the phones, they are watching it. You see TikTok. TikTok is the application, and you see the user base. WhatsApp. How many people? How many billions of users on WhatsApp? So it's all possible because of digital medium, and it is really working so well. And in this pandemic time, we can say this digital medium is the savior. Literally, it is the savior, and thank God we are using it, and thank God to all the all the network providers. They are giving network, and it is reaching out to millions of people. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's actually like even the amount of use, like we have been using like social media and stuff, that has also like increased a lot. Like I've seen like the viewership that was there before and it's there now. That has actually
Yeah.
increased up a lot during this time.
It is literally. Now because बैठे
Yeah.
बैठे क्या करे करना है कुछ काम ले लो mobile phone, scroll down,
I
scroll
mean,
down. You know, you can't go out. So where you go
I
for
mean,
walking? Okay, let's use my finger to walk. Scroll down, down,
I
down,
mean,
down.
I mean, I am also a culprit in this thing. I'm seeing my screen usage, it's increasing like anything, and I can't really blame anything as much. So, anyways, moving the same question over to Ms. Shobana here. How have the digital marketing trends changed for your field, for your career in singing and performing throughout the pandemic?
Actually, to tell you honestly, in my field, the digital marketing was on much before even the pandemic came through. Because since I had gone international in the last 10 years, so people sitting somewhere, someone sitting in Singapore is getting in touch, someone sitting in America is getting in touch, someone sitting in India. It's not even possible for me to meet them or see them. So it's like my work out there. So I have my videos, my performances, my clips that I send across to them. Then I have a meet with them. Earlier, it used to be Skype, then it became Botim. So whatever it is, so I used to actually have, because I also get involved with the families, get to know all their details, and all those kind of things. So I had to have actually a meeting with the entire family, understand what's happening. So all that was already happening on the digital medium, and that is how the work was coming. And I had to have a presence, and people sitting somewhere far away had to be able to see what I could do. And that's why this whole digital medium has been there around throughout. After the pandemic, I think it's just taken on a whole new meaning now, because now even people who are in the next lane, my friends who live just 15 minutes away from me now, and whom I used to meet just like that, whose parties I used to do, even now they are able to see me only on my FB live. So it's a nice way to connect, but it's a nice way to keep in touch, to keep people reminding that yes, we are around. And also now, it's too early, but hopefully when I do the event on coming Thursday, I'll probably get a better idea. But it's going to be my first digital, what can I say, event, where I'm going to be singing for someone whose anniversary it is. So I'm doing a special evening for them, and I'm trying out with different media. So digital it is. There is no other way, because with social distancing in place, I've even offered, if anyone's getting married, I mean, I think now people are only getting married with what you call registrations. The actual ceremonies are probably going to happen only next year, but even registrations cannot wait, because if people have decided and they want to go ahead with the paperwork, it makes sense. So get all the family together, I'll do your shadi songs, and celebrate, everyone dress up, we just enjoy. Yeah, so
Well,
I've been promoting that as well. So I feel that we shouldn't stop. If it's cannot happen in person, let's do it online, but let's continue the celebrations, let's continue it in a different way. Yeah,
Show must go on.
yeah,
yeah,
the
The
show
show
must go
exactly.
must
on.
go on. Yes.
Anyways, so
So,
um, before we had actually
uh,
started this thing, before we actually started, we put out stories asking the audience some questions. So before we move on to the audience questions, I'd like to ask one question to all of you also. Getting into the
because
profession
this is
of
an
yours,
entertainment field. So
yeah,
this is
this thing,
being an entertainment field. A lot of people have this thing in mind. So the
ba-
question is like getting started in your profession right at the beginning, or being able to keep up and going on in order to pursue it. Like, what is more harder?
yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Basically, because I've
I
seen
found that question very interesting.
many people out there, they're like, did you find it harder to get started in this profession, or is it getting harder to keep it going on and continuing in the same field?
Yeah.
So
Who's
I'd
going
like to ask,
first?
yeah, Mr. Aman.
Aman.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, it was not harder because the thing is, I like to learn things. I like to learn new things. So I'm very adaptable to changing environment around me. So when I was in casting business, see, I told you money was a key factor for me. I don't give anything about like if I'm getting money, I'll do anything. So I was like, okay, this is very nice job and I'm getting good amount of money. And it's not something which I don't like. I like it. I like to be on sets. I like to see stars. I like to be, hiring people. And this kind of a feeling was there. And I was very young at that time. I was 24. So I was like, this is very nice. And I started doing casting. Then when I came to filming, okay, so filming was something which is technical. So there is a director called Neeraj Mehta. and he was directing one of a commercial for Pan Emirates, and I was the actor in that. So what happened? He saw me, and then he went to India. He came with a project here. He said, "Amman, I want production and all. You know, I'm a confident guy. So I was like, okay, I'll handle your production. Don't worry. I know everything. I don't know anything. You know, I told him I know everything. So he came here. He came on my shoulders like, Amman. Okay, so he told me, Amman, I need this. I need this. I said, okay, I'll do it. But I did it. I know how I did it, but I did it at the end. So he really appreciated. He's like, oh wow, you did everything. And I said, yeah, I know everything. So then he told me, let's do filming. And then I started doing filming, very small with him only. And then together we opened a company, Phoenix Film Company. And that's how then I became a proper professional director with him. So with him, I've directed a lot of songs, commercial for Ace Hardware and for Speedex, like a lot of brands. And we did commercials for them. And then I started doing my own things. He's doing his own things. So that's how the technical thing. But it's all about learning. How good you are in learning. So I'm an editor also. I edit videos. So I learned editing from YouTube. I learned filming from YouTube. Even when I have to study FX market, I learn it from YouTube. So yeah, that's it.
Moving on to RJ VED with the same question, really. Was it difficult to get started in the field, or is it becoming difficult to continue in the field?
Basically, it was not difficult to start because that time I was very young, you know. I had that zeal, I had that energy. I want to do anything. If there is a mountain I want to climb, Khalibali, you know, that sort of energy. Anything, any difficulties was not difficulty for me. You know, it was, oh, just a small hurdle. So in the beginning, it was very easy. I started my career with Radio Mirchi, and you know, within 6 months of time, first I used to do afternoon show, and then in the later I shifted in the evening prime time show. And within 1 year, I became the programming head because I was very quick learner. I used to learn. So I learned not only how to speak on radio, but also how to produce radio spots, radio ads, how to do voiceovers, and how to manage all the consoles, technical stuff. Because I was an engineer, so obviously I had to learn this. So that was a very easy time. And within 1 year, I was like, okay, I know everything now, Khali Bali. So now next step was to sharp yourself, you know everything now. Now you have to be the expert of all those skills. So initially it was very easy. Now after 10 years of working experience, now it is hard, you know, to maintain the same stuff. Like, because see, you have desires. You have invested your 10 years in the same industry. So if you want to work for any company, you have your desires. You want that much amount of money. In the beginning, it was not there. Whatever, yalla, okay, 8,000 rupees, come on, I can do my job. So, you know, it was like that. Now you have desires. You cannot you cannot do something in free or, you know, like that. So now maintaining the whole stuff after reaching on that particular kind of a spot, position, it is really hard to manage because it's easy to climb on the number one position. But the difficult task is to hold yourself on that number one position, because there are a lot of people who are trying hard to reach on that particular position. So in the beginning, it was very much easy. Now it is little harder.
Moving on to Ms. Shobana, what do you think on this?
Yeah, I was waiting for this. Amongst all your questions, I really like this one because I'm like, this is actually something that all the youngsters out there should know, should hear. Because, you know, जब आप दूर से देखते हो तो सब कुछ इतना चमकीला, इतना मस्त लगता है. You feel, oh my God, I want to be up there, you know, on the top, on the top. But it's never about being on the top. It's always the journey. It's the journey that is interesting. It's the journey that is challenging. And when, like Ved said, when you start at the bottom, you have no expectations, you have no ego, you have no, आप किसी के लिए भी कुछ भी कर लोगे, कोई problem नहीं है, and you have that enthusiasm, you're ready to learn, you can be second in command, you can be third in command, you can be like, I've done shows for people where, you know, I used to wait on the side of the stage to just get a chance to sing 2 songs in that entire evening of 3 hours. You know, that's how we started. And sound ठीक नहीं होता था, बाकी चीजें ठीक नहीं होती थी. It used to be very frustrating, but you are nobody, so you just kind of, then gradually you reach a point where you realize that, okay, I don't want to do this unless this is okay, unless this is okay. Then you start taking on the shows yourself. Then you insist that, no, I need to know what is happening. I need to know the class. That's how you grow. The thing is, the more you grow, yes, you get better, you get more what you call professional, you become more of an expert. You don't need practice. Like people ask me this, ki, do you practice every day? Do you have to plan what to do? No, once you are on the go, once you have got your 10 years, 20 years experience, you don't need any of that. You just go there, you know exactly what to do. But the challenge is that there's a lot of new people constantly coming, and the taste of the audience is changing. You got to reinvent yourself. You got to make sure that the same person who saw you 2 years ago, when they see you again, or even 2 months ago, when they see you again, you have to give them something different. You have to do something which stands out or which was different from, they shouldn't be like, अरे यार इसको 6 महीने से देख रहे हैं यही कर रहे हैं. You know, that should not happen. So you cannot let that complacency set in. You have to constantly up your game. And this is not, it's mainly for entertainment industry, but also even other industries. I mean, I see banking world today, I see so many other industries. It's the same, because you can't afford to, you know, kind of flatten. You have to keep on inventing, and with age and experience, what happens is your energy levels are not the same that they used to be when you started off. So that's where that balance comes in. The experience is there, but the energy is less. So whereas with the youth, when you're starting off, your energy is super high, experience nahi hai, but you're ready to learn. So there are challenges both ways, but I would certainly agree with both Aman and Ved that once you've reached there, to sustain is a huge challenge.
So
Right.
knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently when you were starting out, when you were just, you know, stepping into this industry, knowing what you know now? Is there something you would do a little more differently than what you
Yeah.
did?
Ms Shobana, I think it's towards you
Yeah,
only.
no,
It's a
actually,
continuation.
it's an interesting question. But see, the thing is, life is not something that you plan to that extent. I think Aman would agree and Ved would agree as well. I mean, we are all creative people, especially for creative people. Maybe if you're talking about a finance career or if you're talking about a banking career, maybe you can plan that this is where I want to be. I want to be a VP, I want to be a CEO. But with creative people, it doesn't come with so much of planning. You go in there with the burning desire to follow your passion and to make a mark. And then you start discovering yourself, you see the terrain, you try out different things, you see what works for you and how the response comes. Accordingly, you mold yourself. Accordingly, you find your strengths, and then you start sharpening your skills in that direction. That's how the whole process goes. So it's I don't think, at least for me, I don't think I would do anything differently, because I think this is the way it was meant to be, and this is the way a journey should be, ideally, where you constantly learn. Even Aman has so many examples of where he just took it on, saying it's the same for me as well. I mean, there were so many times when things were thrown curveballs, you know, where I had no idea how to do this, but I never said no to the client. I'm like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Ho jayega, aap tension mat lo. And then you start it off and then you figure it out. You have people to help, you have people to guide, and then you learn. I mean, you have to be constantly on. That's a way. So I don't think I would really change anything much. No, not me at least. Maybe the
Aman or
others.
RJ, do you want to add anything to this?
So according to me, yes, I chose a radio jockey thing. I had options after my engineering. I had Indian Navy to join. I had Cummins company. I was campus placed, but I chose radio stuff. I'm happy, but I have no regrets about it. You know, I have no regrets about it. Maybe my life would have something else, being a naval officer or maybe in company Cummins. Maybe I would have gone to some other world to work for Cummins. But this is what I love the most: passion, desire. You know, you might get a lot of money in other companies, but the art, the kind of artists which are there inside you, you know, he always would have crave for this. I want mic, I want stage, I want to do live shows, I want to meet a lot of people. You know, a small example, when I used to host shows in Indore, while my college, while my college was going on, I used to host shows in malls and all. So I had a small number of following, like 20, 30 people. I used to meet everybody in Chappan. There is a Chappan shop in Indore. So I used to meet all
Mhm.
20, 30 people every day. And I started enjoying that time, like 20 people who are following you. They had their own queries and they want to discuss with you and they follow whatever you're saying. So that chaska, कि ये जो प्यार मोहब्बत है ना, it will not, you only get by doing this kind of stuff, RJing, maybe an actor, maybe a public figure. So I think this is what I'm doing right now. It's the best decision I have taken, and this is what my destiny is. And I really enjoyed, as Shobana has mentioned before, the journey which is matters. So I really enjoyed the journey, and I had so many stories, in this journey, because I'm a very small town boy, and I reached to Dubai, and it's a kind of a, for me it's kind of achievement. I am seeing it in achievement. So I really enjoyed that, and that's the best decision. And why I made this decision, obviously my parents, did not agree, because I was very intelligent also. And but I told them, "Ki, believe me, this is what I want to do in life." And so now here I am. So fate is all, destiny is all.
Yeah. And now we have a few questions from our audiences. The first question is by Yasha Kamar, who asks, do you always have to take care of what you eat and drink because of maintaining your vocals? I think this is for Ms Shobana.
Absolutely, absolutely. It has to be a way of life. It's not like you think about it or something. See, a lot of people have asked me this, that uh, for me, thanda is an absolute no. There have been times where I have by mistake taken something and then realized it is thanda and I've not swallowed it. I've actually kept it in my mouth until it came to a room temperature and then swallowed. Or if there was possibility, it's an outdoor location or something, gone and spat it out. But there's no way that I can let anything cold actually enter my vocal cords. And see, that's where I say that it also depends on, you have to, it's a journey. You got to figure out what works, what doesn't, because over a period of time I realized there were certain things that were not suiting, so I cut them off and made sure that I am careful. Like कुछ लोगों को खट्टा नहीं सूट करता, मुझे खट्टे से प्रॉब्लम नहीं आती है, but they're like spicy. Some people it doesn't work. For me it works in certain doses. I know my body tells me when it's going too much, so I immediately cut it off. So it's a priority. If this is important to you, if your voice is important to you, you have to make these changes, and it should not be something temporary. It has to be a lifestyle change. That's what I believe.
I actually didn't know, singers have to, take care of all this on like a daily basis.
So
Wow.
our second question is from Nidisha Agarwal. I think this is directed towards Mr. Aman here. Um, she asked that a filmmaker might need to take multiple cuts for the same shot, right? In order to get the perfect shot. And when you're working with some other people, I think like it might reach to a point where you're taking too many cuts and you have to take too many cuts and repeat the same thing over and over again. Has there been any incident where you had to do this a lot and people actually got frustrated by it, and then it led to some kind of chaos?
No, see, what happened in music videos, yeah, we take a lot of cuts, but you need to see, it depends upon the artist. So if the artist is not that big, I can tell him to just do it, man, because it's my name. But if the artist is big, then you have to be a little softer. You just tell him that this is. But nowadays, what happened? I'm talking about music videos. I'm not talking about commercials which made in Dubai, which is very, very generic, because you don't have to do anything in commercials in Dubai. Just go straight, laugh, smile. It's not like Bombay thing. It's here. It's like very mediocre. But I'm talking about music videos of mostly of Punjab industry. So if it's a big singer, like for example Gary Sandhu, you don't have to tell him anything. He knows what he has to do. So our job, 50% of our job is done, because he knows if the camera is on, he knows his vocals, he knows his song, he knows his moves. But the guys who are new, who maybe have just one or two songs or three songs, we need to tell them. We need to tell them a lot, like okay, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. ऐसे नहीं गालियां भी गालियां भी देते हैं गालियां बहुत चलती हैं. So we tell them कि ये ठीक से नहीं हो रहा, ये नहीं हो रहा, लड़कियों को सही से नहीं कर रहे, ये नहीं कर रहे. Because see, what Punjabi music video is all about girls, locations, and cars. That's it. They don't need any third, fourth thing. They just need these three things. That's it. They're sorted. So you need to be.
What about cars? You forgot cars.
Yeah, cars, girls, locations. Cars, girls, and locations. So these three things you need it. So yeah, it depends upon the artist. But recently I worked with this guy called this Vakra Swag guy. I made his music video, and he was very down to earth. And so now these guys know what they have to do. So because they already have done such a huge songs, and then after 2-3 songs he's coming to Dubai and he knows what he has to do. You don't have to tell him like, okay, this is the, but yeah, sometimes it's my mistake if I'm not able to take the shot perfectly, then I have to tell him. But these guys are very cooperative nowadays. They don't ask, they don't have that ego on the set, they don't have those kind of vibe. They are like very calm, composed. They know what has to be done. Yeah.
Okay, and moving on, we have a question for RJ VED. So when you're on air, this is by Aditya Nambiar. When you're on air and you do a mistake or you come across a unprecedented situation, something you did not expect while you're live, what do you do in that case?
Okay, so if I talk about technical point of view, so always whatever we say on radio, it always 8-second delay. Whatever we're saying, it is reaching out to the audience after 8 seconds. So there is on the console there is one kill button. If you said something unwanted, something bad, you can press that kill button. So it will cut that 8 seconds part, and then you can save yourself. And sometimes I remember once, I had eaten a lot of food, my favorite food, and I was doing show, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, on Radio Machine 98.3 FM, aap sun rahe hain, blah blah blah. I actually bugged, and at the same time, I twisted it. See, how about this mimicry? I can imitate burping also. So I turned the topic. See, I'm mimicking burping also. I can mimic, and then I immediately whatever I wrote for my radio content, I changed. Say, then I said, if Ashok Kumar burp, how he will burp? Yeah. And then Amitabh Bachchan, so I twisted the whole topic. So this is all spontaneity, presence of mind while doing the radio show. If something you did mistake, you have to correct it immediately. Otherwise, listeners are very intelligent. They will correct you. They will call you and they will say, hey Baba, you did this mistake. How can you say? You can't be responsible. You're doing show on radio. Millions of people are listening. You can't be wrong. Blah blah blah. So you have to correct it then and there. Otherwise,
I believe
you're fired.
the spontaneity is also something that comes with experience, really. At beginning,
I mean, I would like to add on to this that besides radio, even on stage, it happens all the time. And especially, with corporate events or even weddings, things go wrong. You're told something else is happening. And there have been situations where I still remember this one incident where the sister of the groom, which was supposed to be the highlight performance, she was ready on stage, all set to perform, and nothing could go wrong, because sometimes these things can even cost a marriage. It's that serious. And she was all set and the DJ had the wrong song. I don't know how that happened, because they were the choreographer was supposed to have done that. But I was the MC on hold. I was standing and I could see the confusion and the fighting going on there. She's already seated. I've already announced for her performance. So then I realized this is going wrong. There was no time for me to go and ask them ki kya ho raha hai, kya nahi. They were already sorting it out. So immediately I went in, running in, saying, ruko, 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 wait, as though I interrupted that performance, not as though the performance is interrupted. I stopped it. I said, wait. I cannot let her dance like this. I need to check one thing. I had no idea what I'm going to do next, but I went on from there. I picked up something else. I said, okay, so, she's your sister. She's going to be doing this. What do you think about it? Do you think you have any idea what she's going to do? Something, kuch bachpan ki baat, some story I made up. And all the time I had my eye on the console. I was watching to see if things were sorted out. So this was, a way of covering a situation which was not even caused many times it's not caused by you. It's caused because of, other external factors. But you
Yeah.
cannot say कि मैं क्या करूं, मेरे को तो बोला था announce. It doesn't work like that. When you do something, you have to take the responsibility to make sure that the event goes well. So that's what it comes with experience.
And that's the
Follow
job
on that.
of a very responsible MC. Shobna is very
Yeah.
responsible MC. If some other MCs would have on her place, बोले वल्ला खली भली मेरा क्या, मैंने तो announce कर दिया इधर, अभी जिसको नाचना है नाचो. But this, she has taken everything on her. And marriages, Shobna, I have seen, कितना भी बढ़िया plan कर लो, show floor discuss हो, but गड़बड़ होनी है.
कोई ना कोई चाचा जी और फूफा जी will jump into the fray.
Actually.
The next question that we have, it's for Mr. Amman, and even though the credit of this question goes to Amok Srivastava, but I've heard this question from a lot of people really. So for someone who loves video editing and graphic designing, how can they start their career as a one-man army if they only have a laptop with them?
See, depends upon what kind of footage you are shooting and what kind of footage you are editing. Right now, if you're shooting 8K footage, 6K footage, like RED camera, if you have 5K, 6K, your normal laptop won't support it. You need a big machine, you need a big, good processor. But normal footage is coming out of the normal DSLR cameras or maybe like Lumix cameras or something like that. 4K footage, it will be supported on your system, laptops. But for example, you need to have a proper professional editor. You need Premiere Pro, you need DaVinci. These kind of softwares are there for editing. So you need to have a proper setup for that. And easily right now you can learn it from YouTube. Everything is there on YouTube. Everything from A to Z, everything is there on YouTube. So yeah.
And before we end, one question: how do all of you deal with trolling? Like when you make a mistake or something doesn't go right, there are hundreds of people to troll online and to make jokes out of it. How do you deal with that kind of hate that may come along sometime?
See, for me, if I talk about trolling, I had a YouTube channel, and I started in Dubai as well. In Dubai, so I made one video, top 5 worst singers. It went viral, and more than 2 million views or something on YouTube. So there are a lot of people who were trolling my voice. Your voice is like you very irritating, more irritating than Jack Puja. A lot of bad words, blah blah blah. So if you're getting negative comments also, वो कहते हैं ना बदनामी में भी नाम होता है in social media. Yeah. So if getting bad comments, no worries at all. जो लोग लिख रहे हैं, let them write. You just chill and relax. If people are hating you, there are a lot of people who will follow you as well, who will praise you also. So just enjoy, and you don't need to deal with trolling. You just need to enjoy the trolling. This is what I think. And trolling means you're becoming famous, man. If Alia Bhatt, she got trolled, imagine she became famous after the troll. Alok Nath ko to humne bhula hi diya tha.
I mean, bad publicity is still publicity. End of the day,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
just turn that entire thing towards yourself for your own good afterwards.
Yeah, see, Alok Nath, we almost forget him. But that troll, Babuji, Sanskari Babuji, unke dog
That
bhi
whole
bhaun
Yeah,
bhaun
she
Sanskari
karte
thing
hain.
that happened with him, yeah.
Yeah, he became on the limelight, and then Sonu ke Titu ki sweetie mein. And these days, trolling thing is used purposely. All these celebs, they use trolling stuff. They do nonsense stuff so that people can troll them, and they become popular. क्योंकि negative चीजें बहुत जल्दी highlight हो जाती हैं. So they're using it very well. So I think trolling is one thing which you can enjoy. What about Shobna?
Okay, I belong to a slightly different generation. So if these are a lot of youngsters watching, then I would put in a word of caution that yes, trolling and getting negative publicity to get famous is one of the ways. But I think we have to be careful there because now a lot of laws are also coming into place. So when you talk about doing something that can attract trolling, like Ved said, okay, usne kuch ulta seedha gana gaya and people were, that was his personal thing and they were talking about him in terms of his talent, which is still okay. But if you are getting trolled for your views, if you've said something, or if you've made fun of somebody else at the expense of someone else, these things I certainly wouldn't advise because sometimes these things can get out of hand and could land you into trouble which you may not even have imagined because nowadays laws are getting stricter and everybody is watching. So that's one. And secondly, also, it depends on your personality. Like, how strong are you as a person? If you are the kind of person who's thick skinned, who can handle any kind of stuff, and that you would know, because in the real world, are you able to handle? Because trolling is not something that happens just online. You go to high schools today, you go to colleges today, ragging, that's trolling. What else? I mean, it's basically, people ganging up against one person. So it also depends on your personality. So do think about, if you have the capacity to actually handle it. It's like, who you are, you're cool with that, like how Wade said, fine, you can handle it. But if you are not so sure, then it's probably not a very good space to be in, so you need to be careful there. So it's a difficult call. You have to take the call based on your own
It based on
personal.
person to person, actually.
Yeah, depends from person to person. So you have to know
Yeah.
yourself before you step into the territory. It's very easy to say something stupid, and go, oh my God, I've become famous. But uske jo results, and what is on social media, you can never erase it. Remember that. It's there forever. You've done it once, it's there. Where it will come and hit you, how, we've seen movies, we've seen Netflix shows where, things, ek cheez se dusri se teesri se, the boomerang effect. So somewhere, I think
Mhm.
youngsters
Yeah.
need to be a little careful on where and what, So that's, I would probably say, a word of caution.
Aman, what kind of trolling do you get, and how do you deal with that?
यार मैं तो डबल गालियां बक देता हूँ.
Best way to go
Like,
about.
my business is not that kind of business where I get trolled. Direction
More
is
in the back
something where
end.
people generally don't say wrong things. But sometimes if I'm making something different, like recently I was shooting a Hollywood music videos. So there were a few girls who are just, and I posted on social media. And so a lot of people, they commented, but they know me. I'm kind of a guy who abuse a lot. So they don't troll me like that. So they generally say, "Oh, ye kya hai?" Like that can go like that. They can't say things on my face. But
With
general public, they don't troll because first of all, they don't. I don't have that kind of business of where I come in main center. Like this guy has to be trolled. No.
I think generally you should just remember one thing. If you know what you've done is right, and if you know you're in the right, then just remember one thing. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना.
Well,
with with that being said, we'd now like to sign off. So we'll all we'll link all of these people who have joined us in the description where you can find them. Along with that, you can also find us on our Instagram page at catch.ups and our YouTube account where this entire talk will be uploaded soon. We are planning to release it by 14th, so hopefully it should be up by then. And other than that, thanks a lot for watching, and thank you to all the speakers who joined us today for this discussion.